Hello. I am alive. How are you, Lynn? Good morning. Stevie, good morning. Michael, good morning. The retreat was amazing. That's right. I haven't spoken with you guys since then. The retreat was pretty amazing. Um, it was on the Isle of Wight, which is an island off the coast of England. You can actually see it from there. And so it was really, really amazing. And we stayed in this huge mansion. I mean, huge. And really interesting in the house. Like I had, I think, one of the best rooms to have with a clawfoot bathtub. And it was just amazing. The food was amazing. In the house on the door was the name of my great grandmother's maiden name. Or, yeah, so I might be related to these people. But the Isle of Wight is just so beautiful, so green. We did a lot of walking. And honestly, ever since I've been back, 2 out of the 3 mornings, I've gone on almost 3 mile walks because I feel like I have it in my body from doing that. Like I feel like I have it in my mind and my soul. And being out in nature and walking is just so therapeutic. So I've been continuing that. So thanks for asking, Stevie, because it was, gosh, I want to say just what the doctor ordered, because the level of what it did for me in terms of my soul, like at that layer of health and self care and being out in nature, so amazing. Super. So, what's going on with you guys, Lynn and Stevie and Michael? Anything happening? You're my regular Wednesday crowd. And yeah, so what's going on in your neck of the woods? What's going on with you, with your body, with your mind? I don't really watch news, so I'm not really, aware of all of the stuff that's going on out there. I'm trying to really manage the stress in my life because it is the disruptor of peace on so many levels. So, all right. Hi, Lynn. Yeah, thank you. I'm still jet lagged. I did get up today at 5:30, so that was good. Last couple days, 4. But in order to recalibrate your biochemistry, I learned this in India in 2017. The shape of the skull is very similar to the shape of the earth. And the angles at which the sun hits the retina throughout the day helps to ionize the melatonin. So the biochemical patterning in our body, the circadian rhythm of sleep and wake, that happens with hormones, with melatonin, with cortisol. And there's a lot of very contributing factors that helps them be what they need to be. But one of them is the sun and the angles at which the sun hits your eyes. So my first day back, I went outside on a walk, and even like every day since, I go outside at different times of the day to actually let my biochemistry recalibrate to this time zone. And then of course make sure I eat the nutrition that's going to support that, and mineral dense nutrition. Today I had a big glass of water with salt and lemon, so vitamin C, the lemon, which is good for immunity, good for bone health. Salt, which our sodium, we need our sodium to be balanced, for the potassium to be balanced, for cellular mechanisms to work properly, and some liquid minerals. So getting back on track with health. And it was not so easy to stay healthy there, because there's gluten everywhere. Pat, hello, how are you? So the last time that we were all together, I believe, was the day that I went duking. I'm pretty sure. No, it wasn't. Or was it? Yeah, actually, it wasn't. After I saw you guys on Wednesday, okay, so the 5th would have been that, the 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd. November 2nd is the last day that I saw you, and I was on Loch Lomond. The next morning I got up and I went into Loch Lomond. I went in the water up to my neck. So that cold water therapy that everybody's talking about, I never thought I would do it because I hate cold water. And this girl suggested that I do it. So I went in up to my neck. So totally planned my trip. It's going to be maybe in May 2023. Hopefully some of you will join me. Scotland is amazing, amazing for the beauty and for what it does to your soul. So, anyway, all right, well, let's get moving. When I was on my retreat, we did yoga and Pilates. So, the girl that I went on the retreat with, that I met, that I went on my retreat with, she's a yoga teacher. And the girl that was also hosting it with her is a Pilates teacher. And it was really amazing because I did Pilates and yoga. And, Pilates is, I used to do it on a reformer. I've not really done much mat Pilates, but very intricate with movements in the body. I'd like to introduce some of that today because I thought there was some fantastic movements. And they are pretty much some of the yoga postures that we do, and then a little bit of extra. So I really like to focus today on joint stability and strengthening, and pelvic stability and spinal stability, because that's really going to be a part of what helps us be healthy forever, is learning how to strengthen that stabilizing aspect of our body. So we're going to be doing some of that today. The thing is, when you do stabilizing work, the stabilizing muscles are actually small muscles that attach bones to bones. So in the spine, there's 26 vertebrae, 2 of them are fused, 24 are mobile. So the stabilizing muscles and even the stabilizers of the pelvis, they're actually smaller, deeper muscles. So you don't have to do big, crazy movements when you're working on stability. And I think that that's something. It's actually a great thing for those of us that want to be healthy and keep our joints healthy. Yet for some of us, we feel like we're not doing anything. And so we go bigger or stronger because we want so badly to be strong as we age. And then we start to use the big muscles and we move away from the stabilizers. So I invite you today in this practice to actually be more calm in your practice. You're going to be calm and strong. We're going to go to the stability aspects of our body, stay really small with our movements today, be in our joints, and strengthen aspects of our joints. That's going to help us have healthy hips, a healthy spine, healthy body. And that's what we really need to be pain-free and to be able to do all the things we want to do forever. So today we're going to go slower. We're going to be more focused on our body. I love to close my eyes because I like to actually feel what I'm doing and really be aware. When we talk about the core, I want to bring that up before we go onto the ground for visualization. The base of your body right here, where the base of your pelvis here, this is called your pubic bone. And there's abdominal muscles that attach to the pubic bone and then up towards the lower ribs. So this is that 6-pack ab, actually, when the 6-pack abs is this part. But there's also all of this here being the core. So some of the instruction I will give today is to activate from pubic bone lifting up towards belly button and lower ribs pressing down towards the spine. Not to be confused, so this would be lower ribs are pressing down, not to be confused with thinking you need to do this. So we don't want any rounding of the thoracic. We're going to activate our core by activating our lower abdominal muscles. So we're going to be in our body. We're going to be really nice and quiet, closing our eyes if that works for you. Going into your body, small muscles don't need to do crazy things. We're going to lift our limbs up and challenge the joints, strengthening the joints and helping us age gracefully and age in our healthiest versions of ourselves. So please have your props handy, a block, a strap, and a blanket. Make sure that you have yourself, that you're nice and comfortable. We'll come down on the ground to get ourselves connected to our breath. So putting your blanket at the top of the mat. Being on the ground actually is a way to start to correct your posture and stretch your spine. So the lower you can put that blanket, the better it's going to be for correcting posture. Now, this is the beginning of the practice. So if you want to be a little elevated with your blanket and be a little more like self-care, just do something a little bit more yummy, that's fine as well. So choose what's appropriate for you. And then we're going to bring ourselves down onto the ground. And when you come onto the ground, we're going to find our way into this posture. So you want this nice long neck.
Whatever blanket or pillow you have behind your head, try not to have too much, because the lower you go, the more you're going to actually be correcting posture in your spine. And then I'd like you to bring your awareness to your shoulder blades, which are right back behind your heart. Push your arms into the ground, lift your body up, slide your shoulder blades towards the center, and then let your body weight go back down. So now you're on top of your shoulder blades, noticing here if you feel any stretching in your body. And then bring your feet onto the ground, lift your pelvis up, and try to pull your pelvis away from your rib cage. No tilting yet. So just try to lengthen from the lower ribs down to where the legs attach to your body. And then place your pelvis back down onto the ground. Let's do a little side to side, very gentle side to side. Close your eyes and feel your body weight rocking to the back of the left side of the pelvis, the back of the right side of the pelvis, the left and the right. And then find that center place. Walk your feet a little wider than your body. Let your knees fall in towards each other. Then bring your awareness up to your hands. Let your hands rest at the lower ribs. Elbows are out to the side. Then bring your awareness farther up your spine to the neck. And let's do some gentle side to side movement here. Closing your eyes, becoming very body aware. Bring yourself back to neutral. Bring your awareness to your low back. It should be off the ground, so you're in a soft and neutral pelvis. You feel the pressure at the sacrum, the base of the spine. Hands are on the lower ribs. Elbows are out to the side. Eyes are closed. Begin to close your mouth and breathe in and out through your nose. And then as if you were standing beside yourself, notice where the movement is with the breath in your body. Bring your awareness to the lower ribs. And as you breathe in, let all the movement be there. So the hands around the lower ribs, try to feel and notice what you notice. Hands moving up towards the sky, moving out towards the sides. Pay attention to the expansion on the inhale. Feel your body getting bigger and wider with breath. Let's see if you could bring that movement without moving your pelvis, without moving your abdomen. Let the breath draw downwards towards the legs. Feel your belly stretch and feel your stretching your tissues. So some ligaments, maybe some muscles, connective tissue, fascia. The diaphragm sits on top of the stomach, which is next to the liver, the pancreas, all the intestines. So as you breathe in and the diaphragm presses downwards, you're gently massaging all of these organs, compressing them, pressing your lymphatic fluids and even blood around in your system. So this could be supportive of detoxification, supportive of digestion. And then start to notice, can you actually feel the pressure that goes down the base of the spine towards the tailbone? Not tilting or moving the pelvis at all. Using the breath and the pressure that's created in the abdominal area, feeling that downward movement towards your tailbone. Do you feel even on both sides? And let's see if you could actually separate out one side and the other. The diaphragm has a right side and a left side. So let your eyeballs, your inner eyeballs, the eyes are closed, move down to the lower ribs, to the left side, starting at the middle of the body, all the way around the lower ribs, all the way to the back of the middle on the left side of your body. And on your next few inhales and exhales, feel the movement downward of the left diaphragm towards your left leg. Notice if anything is happening to the right side. And bring your awareness over to the right side of your body. Breathing to the right diaphragm from the middle of your body around the lower ribs on the right side, all the way around to the middle of your back. And start to activate the right diaphragm, pressing down. This is going to push into your liver, master detoxification organ. Noticing what you notice. And then bring your awareness to both sides. Breathing in, let the diaphragm move down to your legs. Feel the expansion and feel the pressure that gets created when you do this. Be very active on your inhale. So feel the diaphragm moving down towards your legs. The inhalation is a voluntary muscular movement. The exhalation is involuntary. It recoils back to its neutral position. So let's actually take charge of our diaphragm. We're going to extend the exhalation, holding onto the diaphragm, not letting it move back, but trying to control the pace at which it goes back to the neutral. I will count 4 on the inhale, 8 on the exhale. If you could follow along with that, great. And then when you're doing it on your own, maybe you go 4 and 6, or whatever it is you need to do for yourself. Let's prepare by taking a big exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue on your own, counting, feeling, and noticing the diaphragm moving down, and control it on the way back up to neutral. Stay with your breath, keep counting, extending your exhale, controlling the exhale. Feel your hands move, visualize your diaphragm moving down. Then finishing up your last breath. Let the breath go back to the body. Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And then let's lengthen the body, coming into a fully outstretched position, arms overhead if your shoulders will let you do that, or out to the side if not. Legs straight if that's possible. Come into a straight position first. Flex your feet, flex your hands, reaching long with the heel of the hands, long with the heels. Try to stretch the belly area. So drawing the legs away from the rib cage. See if you can feel a stretch in the midsection of the body. Pushing the heart up towards the sky. That may deepen the stretch, adding a little bit of extension. Breathing to your belly. And then take your legs, spread your arms like you're a 5-pointed star. From the fingertips, stretching the fingertips, point your toes. Really stretch your body here. Hands could be hovering from the ground, stretching. And then go ahead and bring yourself back to a neutral. Hands on belly, close your eyes, noticing what you notice. Stress is related to all illness, and managing our stress is really important. Doing deep diaphragmatic breath actually is going to get your nervous system involved. So when you control your breath, you control your nervous system. When you control your nervous system, you're managing your stress, You control your respiration rate, your heart rate, and the respiration is the only thing we really have the ability to control immediately. We're able to hold our breath, to extend our breath, to count our breath, whatever that is. So taking charge of your breath is such a profound stress management tool. So add that into your treasure chest of tools for managing stress. So let's do a little bit here to warm up the body. Take the arms out to the side. Take your feet mat distance. Keep your soles of your feet on the ground, and let's tilt our pelvis side to side. So the knees are going to move a little bit as you rock your pelvis side to side, rocking through the center of your pelvis, getting your pelvis to tip side to side. You might start to feel some of the muscles. These are some of those stabilizing muscles that stabilize the pelvis, catching onto the pelvis into the lower ribs, some of them onto the spine. So as you tilt yourself side to side, see if you could feel a little stretching taking place. Doesn't need to be crazy. And then if your low back is not happy, push your belly button to your spine, lower ribs towards the spine, and try to get towards the top edge of your pelvis to be closer to the ground. Not necessarily the lower back, but more about the pelvis. Getting a little bit of a posterior tilt, tilting your pelvis side to side. Now let's let it be the knees that go side to side. It's going to be a bigger pelvic movement. We're going into the hip joint, stabilizers and mobilizers of the hips. You could keep your eyes open or closed, feeling what this does into your body. You're stretching muscles of the waist, core muscles, back muscles. So notice how this feels for your body. Start to let the soles of the feet roll off the floor. You're tilting your pelvis a little more. We're adding rotation into the lower spine. Pay attention to if that feels appropriate for your body. Try to keep the rib cage on the ground and let this be pelvis specific. The next time that your legs go over to the left, keep them there. Be on the big toe edge of the right foot and the pinky toe edge of the left foot. You're not trying to get the left knee to touch the floor. You're trying to get the legs to be away from you and to move over to the side. Your right buttock will be away from the ground, feeling the stretch maybe in the waist area from the tip of your pelvis to the lower ribs. Let your head look towards the right. Only do what's appropriate. And then let's work on getting control of protecting the low back. So take your lower ribs and push your lower ribs towards your spine. Push your belly button towards your low back and lift your pubis bone up towards your belly button, which is going to add a little bit of a tilt in your pelvis. And it's going to actually take that tension out of the back. You may start to notice that tension comes into the posterior hip, the back hip. So know in your body, feel this in your body. If you're hanging on this side and there's a lot of tension in that back, activate the core to protect your back, hugging your lumbar spine with your core muscles. Take one more breath. You're going to slowly come back to center, letting everything soften, let everything settle, and then allow the legs to move over to the right, rolling onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot, the big toe edge of the left foot. Let your head look towards the left and noticing what you notice here. It's a lot of pressure on the right buttock. Maybe you feel some things up in your head and neck because there's rotation up in the cervical spine, rotation in the lower spine. Breathing in and out through the nose. Notice what's happening here to the low back, and let's activate the support of the low back. So let the low ribs press towards the spine, belly button towards the spine, and now activate the pubic bone, lifting up towards the belly button, getting those deep core muscles to help stabilize the pelvis and support that lumbar spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. So that was a little twisting at two ends of the spine. We were twisting the lumbar and twisting the cervical. And maybe you noticed some things. I'm going to tell you that on that second side we did, I noticed a clearing in my ears. I felt a clearing in my ears because we were stretching the neck muscles as well. And then depending on what's going on in your body, you may have some release or something there. Let's bring the legs in towards go one at a time. So have the feet on the floor. Be aware of where your pelvis is, aware of where your low back is, and bring your awareness to your left leg. Bring your awareness to the left side of your body and slowly bring that left leg in so that you notice when the left side pelvis starts to tilt backwards, top edge of the pelvis goes towards the ground, maybe even the left low back touches the ground, and you draw the knee into your chest. And then let's slowly release. Close your eyes if you can. Let's do the same thing with the right. Pause in between the movements. Bring your awareness to your right side. Now the stabilizers are going to activate to stabilize the pelvis and the spine as you slowly draw the right knee up. Feel the right pelvis, feel the right low back, holding onto the knee at the top, drawing it in, and then releasing. Go back to neutral. Feel the muscles working. These are core muscles and stabilizing muscles. Moving from side to side, letting the pause come in between one side and then the other. Gentle movements. Working on the stabilizers of your pelvis, stabilizers of your spine. This is core work, support work. Knees to chest, Apanasana is this posture. It's good for digestion. If you draw your knee in really deep when you come in, you're going to compress the organs in your belly, moving the lymph through the system, moving other stuff through the system. Let's do one more on each side. Pause in between so that you go back to neutral, and then the activation of one side. And then release, finishing that last one. Let's draw one knee in, draw the other knee in. Let's bend and unbend your legs. Go slow here. Slower is harder, slower is more advanced, slower is more work. Legs above your pelvis if you want a little bit more work, turning on more stabilization of the pelvis, closer to the chest if your low back is not happy with this. Arms out to the side if you can, bending the elbows if you can. Work on pushing your low ribs towards your spine, belly button to the spine, and activating that pubic bone to lift up to the low belly. Notice what's happening to your upper body, to your head, to your upper spine. Flex your foot, reach the center of the heel up towards the sky. Stretching the hamstring, the posterior chain muscles, Achilles tendon, plantar fascia, Achilles tendon, gastroc, which is the calves, hamstrings. And then draw the knees into your chest. Let's stretch our hamstrings to make sure that they don't get in the way of pulling on the pelvis and affecting your stabilizers. Let's take the strap, draw the left knee in. Let's do the left knee, put the strap on the left leg. Up to you here. The goal is to stretch the leg, so you decide if you want to keep the knee bent or straight. If you do straighten the leg, you're going to pull on the pelvic bone, so you get extra bonus stretching the pelvic bone. So you decide what's right. Let's begin in a neutral pelvis. So let your leg be above your pelvis or away from you. Feel the pressure on the sacrum, the coccyx bone. Low back is away from the floor. And then draw the leg back towards the wall behind you. You may not get as far as you usually do when you work in that neutral spine. Lengthen the back of the neck. Pull down on the strap, push your leg away from you. Take one more breath. And then release. Take your foot, moving your foot side to side. So the leg stays stationary. The kneecap is pointing backward. You pull on one side of the strap and then the other, stretching the lateral or the side muscles, the ankle joint, tilting your sole of your foot inward, and then trying to tip the foot to the other direction. And then bring your leg up. Take the strap in the right hand, so the opposite hand of the leg. Bring your leg pretty close. Notice if your pelvis tilts backward. So try not to get it to tilt backwards. Try to work in a neutral pelvis. Low back is away from the ground. You feel most pressure in the sacrum area and the coccyx area. Try to get your leg to be right above the hip joint. And then guide the leg over towards the right. See if you can feel that stretch on the side of your leg, the iliotibial band. This is a stabilizer for the knee joint and the hip joint and the pelvis. Push your belly button to your spine. Low back stays away from the ground. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Take the strap off. Let's pause for a second, noticing what you notice in the left side, the left abdominals, left glutes, left hamstring, left leg, left foot. And see if there's any difference between that foot and the right foot. When we stretch our muscles, we're stretching blood vessels, nerves, connective tissue, pulling on bones, ligaments, tendons, fascia. Let's draw the right leg in. Take the strap on the right foot. Find the neutral pelvis, which means your low back is not pressing into the ground, and you feel a lot of pressure in the center of the buttock area, the base of your spine. Then pull the strap down, push the leg away from you. Let's enter into the stretch, stretching the back of your leg. Don't let your pelvis tilt. So closing your eyes. Feel the tension, feel the stretch. One more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to stretch the ankle joint, so pull on the strap, tilting the foot to the left and then to the right. Kneecap is stationary, leg is stationary. Only the ankle joint is stretching, bending the foot. And come back to neutral. Let's stretch that iliotibial band. Starts up here at the top of the pelvis, and then a muscle turns into a really strong band of connective tissue that attaches here. So for knee stability, hip stability, take the strap in the left hand, bring the leg right above your body. Keep yourself in neutral so you don't tilt backwards and you're not flattening your low back into the ground. Your low back is still away from the ground or not pressing into it. Bringing your leg up, and then slowly guide your leg over to the left to wherever you can handle that deep stretch in the side of your leg. Leg higher and over is going to get that pretty strong stretch. Breathe through it. Don't hold your breath. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Put the strap on the ground. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your right leg, right foot, right ankle, right buttock. So let's get into the hip joint. So keeping your pelvis stationary, not moving the pelvis too much. So you're only going to move your legs to wherever they move. Keeping your pelvis stationary, low back off the ground, some more than others, depending on how strong of a curve you have. Feeling the pressure right at the base of your spine. Soles of the feet are on the ground, toes are pointing forward. Let's take the arms out to the side. We're going to use the right leg first to let the right leg open to the side without the pelvis moving. So only go as far as you can where you could still maintain the stability in the pelvis. And then we're going to exhale to move into this. So as you move into this exercise, we're going to exhale, pushing the low ribs towards the belly, activating the pubis bone, pushing the belly button to the spine, moving the leg out to the side, holding the pelvis stationary, and then inhale to come back up. Close your eyes, feel the sole of your foot rocking from the sole to the pinky toe edge, and only go as far as you can with the pelvis staying stationary, not moving at all. Notice what muscles you feel getting involved here. You have your adductors, your inner thigh muscles lengthening. And then you have your core and your stability muscles up here, making sure that the relationship of the pelvis and the rib cage is maintained. You might start to feel the warmth in the inner thighs as you do this movement. On the next one, you're going to stay there for a whole breath cycle. Exhale, reiterate that contraction of the core, the stabilization of the pelvis, then inhale back up to center. Let's do the other side. You're going to inhale to let the left leg open, keep the pelvis stable. So you're not flopping this out, you're doing this with control, really strengthening the muscles of stability. If you stabilize yourself with the exhale on the way out, you might be able to go a little farther, maintaining the integrity of the pelvis, of the spine. Pubis bone is lifting up towards the belly button's pushing towards the spine, low ribs are pushing towards the spine. Be your own physical therapist, your own yoga therapist, your own chiropractor. Get familiar with your body and how it works. On your next one, you're going to stay out and hold. And then bring yourself back up. Let's take the body long. Let it stretch. And then bend your knees. So we're going to come onto our side, working the hip joint. So come onto your side, cradle your head in your arm. Let your lower leg bend so it becomes a support for you. And then the top leg, we're going to have the top leg coming straight out of the body at body height, so not low and not high. You're going to have it coming right out of your body. Flex your foot so you're reaching out of your heel. And let's work on some of the stability of the hip joint. So let's do little leg raises on the exhale. As you lift the leg on the exhale, pubis bone comes to belly button pushes towards low back, lower ribs activate towards the towards the spine for that core contraction. Reach up with the pinky toe edge of your foot and especially the pinky toe edge of the heel, lifting up. Leg is in the same plane as your body. And don't let anything happen to your pelvis. So only lift as high as your pelvis can maintain the stability. On your next one, you're going to come up and hold. Stay there. Little pulses, the pinky toe edge straight up towards the sky. Getting right in there in those stabilizers of your hips. Glute medius, one of the muscles here. Long waist from low ribs to top pelvis, little pulses up. Pelvis is stable, so it's a small movement. And then rest. You could bring your knee forward and you could do a little bit of moving your chest up towards the sky if that feels okay. This is rotation, so make sure for your body it feels good. Reaching with the tailbone down and away from you, really stretching that side. You could take your hand on your leg if you'd like. You could let your head look to the left. Breathing down to your tailbone, to your belly. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to do a little bit more for that hip. So you're going to take your foot up now, and you're going to imagine that your heel is making a circle like a tennis ball size. And you keep the leg coming straight off your body. You do 10 circles in one direction and then 10 in the other, maintaining pelvic stability the whole time. No rocking and rolling in your pelvis. Activate your core to hold on to that stability. Look at your leg. You want it to be coming right off of your body. Try to make a smooth circle. And when you do 10 circles, do 10 in the other direction. When you finish, draw your leg in. You could come back into a twist if you'd like. You could either hold on underneath that leg or hold on top of that leg. Or even putting that leg out, whatever's appropriate for you. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to move up to face you. So just roll onto your other side. You cradle your head with your arm. Begin with legs straight and then bend that lower leg to help you with stability. The top leg lifts up. No rocking forward with your pelvis or rocking back. So try to stay pretty neutral here. We're going to move the hip joint with that pelvic stability, stabilizing the core, the spine, the hip joint. Start to lift your leg up. It's coming straight off your body. Your foot is flexed. You're lifting up at the pinky toe edge and especially the heel. That's really going to get there into that glute medius, isolating that glute medius, one of those stability muscles for the hips and the pelvis. Flex your foot. Toes are pointing forward, not down, not up. And then bring yourself up, little pulses. Keep your pelvis stable. You're not rocking forward or back. Long space between the lower ribs and the waist, or the lower ribs and the top of the pelvis. Look down, make sure your leg is coming straight off your body, not forward, not backwards. And then go ahead and rest. You could bring your leg in front of you, coming into a twist, stretching that side. Either hold on top, hold underneath. And then bring yourself back. So to do the circles, we're going to do 10 circles around a tennis ball in one direction, 10 in the other. Try to stay in it, go through that burn. You'll be happy, your hips will be happy that you did. Coming straight off your body, start to make those circles, small circles, controlled pelvis. And 10 in the other direction. Small circles. Heart lifted. And then rest and stretch. Bring yourself onto your back. Bring your hands onto your pelvis. Push one side down and the other, one side and the other. Let's take the block. Bring the block between your knees. Bring your hands behind your head. Blanket underneath your head. And let's squeeze the block and do a little bit of pelvic tilting. So you're going to rock from the tip of your pelvis, the tip of your spine, pressing your top of your pelvis into the ground, low back into the ground. And when you come up towards the lower ribs, press the front lower ribs towards the ground. Try to flatten the low back into the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze the block, activate the core, tilt the pelvis. Inhale to release. Try to be pretty strong and big with this movement. Begin by pushing your knees into the block, activating the adductors up to the pelvic floor and then the core. So getting the chain of stability to activate. And then bring yourself out. Hands are behind your head. You're clasping your hands behind your head to support your head. Thumbs could be down your neck, elbows are out to the side. Let's take an inhale. As you exhale, start to contract your core. So lift your pubis bone up towards your belly button. Push your belly button towards your spine. Keep your spine in neutral. And then lift up. Let the lower ribs come towards the spine, but don't let the low back move. Don't let the pelvis tilt. And then inhale to lower. Exhale, squeeze the block. Activate the stabilizing muscles of the core. Lift your upper body up. Let the low ribs move towards the spine. Don't let the low back press into the ground. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Tip of the nose is straight up towards the sky. Be okay with not lifting too high because you're keeping that neutral pelvis, working on the isometric stabilization of your trunk. Important for balance, for posture, for alignment. Last one, squeeze the block, lift up. Stay here. Low ribs towards the spine, belly button towards the spine. Pubis bone is actively trying to lift up without tilting the pelvis, turning on those muscles, not moving your pelvis. Inhale to lower. Pause, put your hands on your belly. Take the block out. Let's do a little now for the glute, the small glute, the where the legs attach to the body. So this is stabilizing for the pelvis. So let your feet go to a neutral position. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Push your arms into the ground. Lift your upper rib cage off. Let the shoulder blades slide towards the center so you're nice and stabilized up here in the upper trunk. And then push the left foot into the floor. Come onto the right tippy toe. So left foot is pushing into the floor, coming onto the right tippy toe. We're not going to lift up too high here. We're going to lift up pretty flat here. So let's take an inhale. Activate your core, your stabilizing muscles. And on the exhale, lift your tushy away from the ground. Slowly inhale to lower. Exhale, contract your core. Lift your body up so you have your right tippy toe on the ground. If you need to have more, you could. Or if you want to be a little bit more advanced, when you lift your left leg up, you could lift your right leg as well. So either right tippy toe, right foot on the ground. Exhale, contract, stabilize. Inhale, lower. On the next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Stay here. Pubic bone lifting up, belly button down, low ribs down. And then slowly lower down, come all the way down, all the way out. Let everything settle. Push your right foot into the floor, come onto your left tippy toe. Inhale. As you exhale, lift up. You could keep your right tippy toe on the ground. Inhale to lower. Let all the action happen in the low body. Notice what's happening to the chest. Push your heart up towards the sky. So let this isolate into the lower glute. If you would like to lift the foot off the ground, exhale, lift the left leg. Don't let your pelvis tilt side to side. Contract the core, stabilize your pelvis. Try to unbend that right hip. On the next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Heart up. Exhale, contract, active pubic bone, belly button, low ribs. One more breath. And then bring yourself down. Draw your knees into your chest and rock side to side. And put your feet on the ground. So we're going to do another bridge type posture where we're actually going to come into our spine a little bit more, bringing in more back bend into the spine. We're going to stagger our feet when we come up away from the ground, helping to work with that pelvic stability and that stability of the spine. So either nothing behind your head or minimize whatever is behind your head. Bring your shoulder blades in so that they're closer, you're more narrow across the top of your body. Arms could be straight. You're going to stagger. Let's put the right foot forward in this. And when we come up, we want to bring in more of a back bend, a little higher lift. Feet stay on the ground. Inhale. Exhale, contract your core, stabilizing muscles, and then lift your body up and away from the ground. Add that spinal back bend and inhale to lower. Exhale. And inhale. Eyes are closed, toes are pointing forward, really working that left hamstring, glute, low back, left side spine, left stabilizers. Try not to let your body wobble. Exhale to rise and contract. One more. Exhale, come up and hold for 3 breaths. Push your heart up. Bend your spine. And then lower down. Let's switch sides. Pushing the left foot away, right foot is in neutral. Heart is lifted. Inhale. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Close your eyes and see if you feel that you're able to stabilize your body and not be too wobbly here. Notice which muscles are activated. Do you feel stretching? How does your low back feel? If you feel it in your low back, turn on the front of the back, which is the core. On this next one, you're going to come up and hold for 3 breaths. And then bring yourself all the way down. Bring your blanket behind you. Draw the knees into your chest. It's a lot for the front of the body. A lot for the back of the body. Let's come on to our side, push ourselves up. Bring your blanket underneath your knees. Come onto all fours. Let your hips settle. Let your shoulders settle. Push your body around. Keep your head active here. Don't let it flop. Your eyes could be closed. Pushing side to side, stretching the hips. Moving forward and back. And then bring yourself all the way up. Let's get the block. Holding the block like this so that the elbows can stay here, not out to the side, but right here. Be on the very back edge of your blanket. Bring yourself forward. Bring the elbows underneath your shoulders. Press into the block. Activate pubic bone lifting up towards the belly. Low ribs moving back towards the spine. Belly button towards the spine. If you'd like to flip your toes under and lift your knees off, you can do that. Push your feet into the floor. Push your hands into the block. Push your arms away from the ground. Close your eyes. Stabilize your body in this forearm plank. Push away from the ground like crazy with your feet, with your arms, and draw your pubic bone up towards your belly button. Take one more breath. Bring your pelvis down. Look up. Push your heart forward. Exhale. Inhale to look over one shoulder. Even if you're not looking over, letting your head go as if you were trying to look at your tushy or your last one. Bringing your block off the side. Let's push up and out. Time to come down onto the ground, letting all that integrate into your body. All of that stabilizing work that was done today. Just noticing how you feel. When we do this stabilizing work and we're really working in the joints and using those muscles, we could feel a little fatigued because we're really isolating and using muscles that maybe we don't always use by themselves, and we let all the other helper muscles come in. So let's come down onto the ground. Let's allow that integration of everything that was practiced today in the practice sink into your cells and into your soul on a really deep level too, creating new memory patterns of stability. So come down onto the blanket. Doing whatever you need to do for your Shavasana. Coming onto the blanket, come into, if you need the knees to the chest or the legs or the limbs up in the air. And find the Shavasana posture, whatever that is for you. Let go. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your hands and your feet. Walk your feet so they're coming off your body. Bring your awareness to your pelvis, to your core. Noticing that as you bend your knees, try to keep your pelvis in a neutral position. Go slow as you bend your knees to bring your knees feet towards the body, and then one knee at a time, then the pelvis rock across the top of your pelvis side to side. And come all the way onto your side. Take your hand, push yourself up. Try to stay quiet. Try to keep your eyes closed if you can. Stay inside. Bring your hands together at your heart and press your heart to your hands. Let your awareness go to your body, to your core, to your pelvis, to your hips, to your glutes. Noticing what you notice. Notice if you feel spaciousness. Bring your awareness to your low back. Let's close our practice today with a gentle humming sound. Let everything settle. Exhale. Inhale. In gratitude. Thank you. So noticing if that was appropriate for you, my body feels fantastic right now. My low back feels amazing. My hips feel amazing. I feel so much spaciousness and less tension here. So hopefully that's the same for you as well.
hopefully you stay in the safe place for your body, because we're all different. And I'm hoping that that was a nice stabilizing practice for you. All right, I saw that somebody commented. Michael, great. Let me know how you feel. I want to show you guys something. So about how you feel, because I want to show you something. Tate, open the door. I want to see Betty. Can you do that? Betty, come here. Betty, bring your, wait, come here. Betty, I want to show you guys something. I'm live still. Come here, Betty. Come here. Come here. Oh God, I'll let you have this. Yeah, take her. I will. Look, my daughter is dog sitting. This is Betty. Say hi, Betty. Say hi. She's so precious. We've been dog sitting. This is a little French bulldog. Her name is Betty. Hi, Betty, honey. Can you say hi to everybody? Isn't she super duper? Oh, we're having so much fun with this little girl. Hi, Betty. You're a superstar. Okay, Stevie. So I hope that was good for you. If you're saying thank you, I gotta let Betty out because I think she needs to go to the bathroom. Whew. Isn't she ridiculous? You're welcome, Lynn. All right. So I feel really good. I hope that you guys feel good too. And I hope that wasn't too much. And I hope that you weren't thinking it was too slow. Good. I'm glad, Pat. Because that's one of the things I always wonder about is how effective are you being with this? So for me, I feel amazing, yet worked. My glutes definitely were burning on some of those things. My hip joint, that was tremendous hip stability type work, pelvic stability, core stability. So hopefully you were able to stay where you needed to. And you didn't poke any monsters of pain with that. Okay, good, Michael. Good, Lynn. Yeah, Stevie, she's so precious. I mean, she doesn't bark. She's just like pure love. And she's so cute with that smashed up face and always snorting. And oh, love her. Still not enough to make me want to get a dog. I mean, I love to travel and I don't want to be, stuck with a dog, but oh, she is something else. All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, getting away is really good for me. And I come back like, ooh, what are we going to do now? So anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you all next week, the day before Thanksgiving. And then 2 more sessions before we take a big break for the holidays. Just from the live classes, that doesn't mean we're going to take a break from taking care of ourselves. All right. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you when I see you.